I'm here with another Canadian. This time it's Zach Ebel, our 2022 World Armlifting Champion. Zach, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Ricardo. I'm great. Happy to be talking to you again. It's been a while since December, and yeah, can't wait. Hopefully, I make it to Worlds in November again.
Yes, I think things are looking good for you. Nice T-shirt, by the way. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's
you
nice.
just
Yeah.
had Super Series Stage 1. It's July 1st. I'm going to be releasing the results later this evening, the preliminary results for Stage 1. Were you happy with your lifts?
Oh, sorry.
Were you happy with your
You're
lifts?
releasing the results. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm releasing them tonight. Were you happy with your performance?
Yes, I was pretty happy with my performance. I was expecting to hit bigger numbers on the blue fat grip deadlift. I essentially matched my numbers that I got last year, but obviously I've been training over the last year quite intensely. However, I cut, so I did weight class last year. I was competing 100 kg, so I'm assuming numbers than what I was looking for. But I still matched what I hit last year for that. For the sacks, for the Country Crush 3x4 block, I was really happy with that. I was hoping to get 100 pounds on that. I think I got 97, which is still really good. Like no complaints there. But was hoping to get that even triple digit figure for the boards, and then my vertical lift for the grandfather clock hold. I think I don't know what I need to do to mix up my training, but that seems to be an area that I might be kind of falling behind some other people. So I don't know if there's a specific method of training or if it's just I need to get the implement, train with that implement, and just get better at it. But improvement.
Yeah, that's the vertical lift is not my favorite lift either, but I think we're going to see in arm lifting more frequently 3 events, 1 round, 1 rectangle or square, and 1 vertical lift. I think that even though it may not be my favorite lift, I think we're going to see that it's an overall test of grip strength, and we're going to see
Yeah.
that in the results, a lot of people who maybe aren't as good at a traditional thick bar lift excel at the vertical lifts. So I think
Okay.
it's a different kind of strength. And who's to say that's one is better than the other, right? They're all valid
Mhm.
and equal. So yeah, I think we're going to see more and more different types of that lift.
Yeah.
Obviously, the grandfather clock / hilt, it's a very simple, easily portable device, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
very easy to train with. So I think
Yeah.
we're going to see more and more of those events. Also,
Absolutely.
tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing the events for Orlando, and
Oh, great.
yes, and there's going to be an interesting twist on the contest that's going to be, I think, quite exciting. So,
Oh, I can't wait.
yes, it's going to be very exciting. So, um, I think unfortunately we missed you at the Arnold Classic this year
Yes.
due to some health concerns for you.
Yeah.
But glad you're back in the mix right now and doing great. And I hope we see you in Orlando because I think the events
Yeah.
will suit you quite well.
Oh, I can't wait. Yes. No, I'm even though, don't want to count your chickens before they hatch, but I'm already trying to prepare for Orlando. I really want to get my overall strength numbers up. I find my body is more of a limiting factor on most of my lifts than my actual hands. Like I can lift more with my hands than I can like with most of my other like my back strength right now. So I'm really practicing my, or I want to say dialing in what deadlift technique works best with me. I've kind of gone back and forth between conventional and sumo. Um, Ironically, I use conventional for the axle deadlift when we were at Worlds in December, and then sumo for the Saxon bar. So I'm kind of going to probably switch to sumo. It's just better for my levers. Being a tall guy with long arms, I think it just makes more sense from a competitive standpoint. But yeah, so just trying to get those numbers up so that I can get my regular Olympic bar deadlifts up higher than my axle bar deadlifts, which will hopefully have some good carryover.
Oh, I'm sure it will. And that's the thing I've seen during my journeys in arm lifting so far is people like me that come from a different background. I've competed in powerlifting for a long time, so my regular deadlift is much more advanced than my axle deadlift. Versus other people who, like yourself, you maybe haven't had a 15 years of powerlifting, so you don't have the deadlift built up, but your grip strength is immense. So it's just very interesting that many roads lead to Rome,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everyone gets there. But I can assure you, as reigning world champion, you already are invited to Orlando, Zach. So we will see
Yes.
you. We will see you there. So
Okay, great news.
yeah, I can guarantee that. So hey, I have a couple of specific questions for you. What do you
Sure.
attribute the literally the strength of your Canadian group there in Ottawa? Because the results are absolutely phenomenal. And I
Yeah.
haven't done a detailed analysis of the results, but suffice to say, I think we'll be seeing most of your venue in Ottawa, should they want to go. I mean, in Orlando, should they want to go. I mean, everyone is really good. So, Zach, tell me about why they're so good.
Yeah, it's frankly bizarre that we have so many exceptional lifters, and I think most people are coming from very different walks of life, but for whatever reason, they've become phenoms in grip. We've got Yves Gravel, who's an amazing rock climber, like elite world level rock climber. His forearms are bigger than his biceps. And then we've got Eric Rusin coming from the arm wrestling community, which I think most people familiar with grip would be aware that there's a huge arm wrestling community in Ottawa, thanks to Devin Larratt and the High Hookers group. So he discovered grip training through arm wrestling. And then we've got Tremaine Desmartel, who he actually came to the Ottawa venue from Montreal, but he comes from strongman. So three different disciplines, but they all have incredible grip. And myself, I've just lifted weights kind of my whole life, more like bodybuilder style when I was younger, got into the squats and deadlifts later. Really got into strongman myself over the pandemic. Actually started the local Ottawa Strongman Club briefly. And one of the things that led me to realize I had a really strong grip was doing the Atlas Stone lifts. So most strongmen, when they do the Atlas Stones, they really need a ton of tacky, like all over their arms and whatnot, to stick to the stone and pick it up. But I was lifting stones with no tacky that were like completely smooth that other people couldn't get off the ground. I was like, oh, maybe I've got an advantage here. If only they got rid of tacky and strongman, I'd do much better.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that you were such an excellent stone lifter. What kind of stones were you picking up? How heavy?
Oh, I was
300 pounds?
so 300 pounds is about the heaviest stone I ever picked up, but I would say once you get there, then it no longer becomes grip for me. Or I think for most people, well, I guess it would be a limiting factor if you're not using tacky. But for me, it becomes more of almost a squat movement when you've got the stone lapped and you're standing up with it. You've got to have an incredibly strong core. and a really good squat to get those numbers out. So 300 was my max that I ever did. I used to have a whole range of stones from like 110 to 300, and I had the tiered platform to put them all on. I still got a bunch of my old strongman stuff, but I'm obviously much more focused on the grip, the arm lifting competitions now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you said 300. That was my guess. My best stone that I ever did in my short amateur career was 308 as well. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, it is all about a front squat at that point, right? However much you can front squat and extend your hips and put up, that's what you can do. You know, we have similar proportions. I have very long arms too, so the picking up part is not the hard part. Yeah, it's the overall body strength of standing up with some awkward, dirty rock. That's
Absolutely
the harder part for sure.
That's the goal. I've actually lost quite a bit of weight since I was doing the strongman stuff over the pandemic. I was 250 pounds when I was doing that during the pandemic. So I don't know if I'd be able to hit such numbers now, having lost over 30 pounds. And probably more soon, because there's actually a competition in Virginia after arm lifting where I'm going to try and get to the 93 kg category. So that'll be interesting.
Wow. Cool.
I think a water cut will be involved there.
Yeah, and then also from your venue was a new youngster named Maxime, and the arm lifting community doesn't know who he is yet. But that kid is
find out. Yeah, he's insane. Honestly, he's incredibly strong. He's 15 years old, and he's lifting more than probably 99% of adults would be on these lifts. And the crazy thing, so he comes from rock climbing, and he does some weight training, but he walks up to the bar and he deadlifts without really a technique.
Right.
He just walks up to the bar, picks it up, and I'm sitting there. And I know I'm talking about tweaking my deadlift form, and I have been working on it for a while now. But I actually, after the competition, and even during the last two competitions, so we had Canadian Nationals, and then we had just arm lifting stage one. And during both competitions, I'm trying to give him tips on like how to improve his deadlift technique mid competition. I'm like, oh, I can't be changing his form mid competition, but we did a one-on-one at a local rock climbing where I kind of walked him through the form recently, just after on my weight class.
No, the kid is unbelievable. I mean, he has no clue what he's doing, and he just picks things up. He's unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable. So Zach, let me ask you this. You know, you had this youngster Maxime, who's obviously an unbelievable rock climber. What would you say to people? Because there are going to be people who are watching this video right now that are thinking about competing. What would you say to them, no matter where they are in the world? What would you say to them about arm lifting and our competitions and trying it? What would you say?
oh, I would say go do it, try it. There's absolutely nothing to lose. Don't even worry about how you're going to place, because everyone's different. And there's, like you said, we test all facets of hand strength, really, right? So maybe you're not good at one thing, but maybe you find out you're really good at another. And it's a really great way to get access to implements that maybe you haven't tried before, you haven't used before, and you can really find out, what you're good at, where you stand. I find it incredibly motivating. So let's say, you're training for whatever reason. If you throw this into the mix, like for me, it's been a total game changer in my level of focus and commitment to my training routines. So I see it compete in a competition. You meet a great community of people, very supportive. So I don't see any downsides, honestly. It's all fun, all good stuff.
Well, thanks, Zach. I think that's a great advertisement for it. I mean, this year we've had in stage one, we've had the most participants we've ever had. We actually had 182 people lift. And I'm hoping
Wow.
that
Okay.
more people join in stage 2 and we get over 200 total lifters. But we've had arm lifting now in more states in the US and more regions, more Super Series regions in all kinds of places. So I'm really confident that as we spread the word through in interviews like this, we spread the word, more and more people are going to come. We're going to find more and more talented people like yourself who've been in another sport, or just a gym trainer that all of a sudden they find out they have an unbelievable grip, or they want to get motivated to try a new challenge. So I appreciate your words because I think you're right on. So why don't we close? Why don't you tell us your competition goals for the rest of 2023? So obviously you have stage 2, you talked about something in Virginia, and then I think I have a date with you in Orlando on November 4th. So why don't you talk about
Yeah.
what's coming up?
Yeah, so that's actually 3 of the 4 actually main competitions that I'll be competing in,
Mhm.
because Tremaine Demartel, he has actually just started a little grip lifting community in Montreal.
Oh,
He's
good.
planning on hosting yeah, so I think he's going to probably start hosting arm lifting competitions in the future for anyone from Montreal who's listening. Um, but so he wants to run a competition at the end of July, which I might just go do for fun. We'll see. I don't know the implements there yet, but then we have stage 2 for arm lifting. So that one's the one I'm really kind of gearing up for.
Zach, how far is Montreal for us American viewers who don't know from Ottawa? How far is that?
It's about a 2-hour drive ish, depending
Sure.
on how fast you go.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, so it's not too far. You can easily make it in a day there and back. So it should be pretty good. And then coming back for stage 2 and later in August, and then the heavy hands in Virginia in September. So that one, so it's perfectly in line with my goals for Orlando. So I really like I said, I really want to get my deadlift numbers up. They're going to be doing a 2 3/8 inch axle at the Heavy Hands in Virginia. So I think it's a perfect. So obviously it's a large diameter than 2 inch. So I'll be doing less weight than I would be doing on like the Apollon axle. But I think that'll be good to kind of gear me up towards November. And then between, so then actually there's King Kong, which is in October, right before November. So I've got a competition almost every month between now and in Orlando, but I'm kind of using them mostly. Well, obviously stage 2 is part of the arm lifting. I'm using them mostly to gear up for Worlds because that's my main focus.
Mhm. Yeah, mine as well. I'm very excited. I'm sad that I'm going to miss you when I go to Calgary next weekend, but
Yes.
that'll be my first time in Canada. So I'm excited to see your guys' country, and I know
Oh
it's
yeah.
far away from where you live, but it's going to be cool to venture north for the first time.
Absolutely. Well, I actually grew up near Calgary.
Oh.
Well, I mean, near in Canada terms, about 6 hours. I grew up in
Hmm.
Alberta, and I've been to Calgary. I've been to the Stampede before. I definitely wanted to go. However, on top of my other health issues, I had some vertigo, and with flights, it was caused by a flight, so I'm kind of trying to limit my amount of air travel as much as I can. But yeah, I think you're gonna have an awesome time. The Stampede's a ton of fun. Yeah, I would have loved to gone out and compete with you guys again, but I'll definitely see you in Orlando.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Zach. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Um, you're a class act both on the platform and off. I really appreciate your involvement. You're helping younger lifters like Maxime. I really think that's what the thing that makes arm lifting so exciting. So thank you for being you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you. Actually, and there's something else I'd like to say too. Obviously, thank you for all your hard work and also all the volunteers that help out through all of the competitions, especially when you get to places like Worlds or the Arnold Sports Festival. I'm so grateful that everyone's pitching in and making those contests what they are, because it's a really wonderful part of my life now, and you know, couldn't do it without any of them. So a pleasure competing with you, and I love your MC skills too. So look forward to those. Hopefully you can get a bit of tag out so when you're competing at Worlds this year. But either way, I'll still enjoy it.
All right, Zach. Well, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful vacation. I'll see you soon, and good luck in the upcoming contests.
Thanks. Good luck to yourself in Calgary, and enjoy Canada.